Hello, my name is Gabriel de Groei. This video aims to explain the differences and similarities between the consensus problems, or consensus methods I should say, between power of work and power of stake, and then mainly in relationship to how to tackle the Byzantine general problem in the bigger picture of blockchain and cryptocurrencies. So let's start off with the Byzantine general problem. What is it, and what are the major issues when we look at this image, for instance? In the middle we have this big castle, and in order to ensure that the castle's defeat by these four generals, these generals must all attack at similar times. However, the times have been agreed upon before, they've been delivered by messengers. However, every general must then make the decision: do I trust this information? Was the information given to me before given to General A over there instead of General B? Was it biased? Could it be false? Basically, all of these generals, in order to reach a sure victory, they must reach consensus about information. In this case, they must reach consensus about at what time do we want to attack. The thing with blockchains, it's quite a similar story. However, we're not attacking medieval castles anymore. The thing with blockchains is that blockchains need to have multiple blocks in a chain, as the name would suggest, but each block must be presented and respected by different nodes, in this case the generals, in order for them to all reach consensus about which transactions were made within those blocks. Bitcoin and Ethereum both have different ways of tackling these issues. When looking at Bitcoin, you should imagine yourself to be the miner on the left. We have the difficult task of mining block number 6 onto the blockchain. There are lots of transactions between people that we are unfamiliar with. However, we are in a race with the other miners in order to be the first to mine this block. So what is required for us to mine this block properly? Well, with all the transactions in the block, there will be a hash that will most likely be everything past the 4 zeros in the beginning. This hash is invalid since every hash needs to start with 4 zeros at the start of its enormous code. How do we reach this specific hash? It needs to find a nonce that, in combination with the hash function of the previous block and the information given inside the block, will reach these 4 zeros. This will then be validated and corrected if needed by different miners, and the block will then be added onto the blockchain. Us as the miners, we are incentivized to do this by a small little coin up here that we will receive once the job is well done. I think the amount is currently 6.25 bitcoins that we will receive for a job well done. There are of course some difficulties since this is a race between us miners. Often the miner with, let's say, the fastest computer will beat the other to the punch. Therefore, major companies or major institutions have started with designing and creating massive hardware storage spaces that house massive computers that could basically produce nonsense at an incredible speed. Therefore, most miners are working together in what is called a mining pool, and such a mining pool basically believes in the strength through numbers, which could then overtake the major companies. However, proof of stake puts it differently. Proof of stake basically only chooses one minter, not a miner, that will then add the block onto the chain. However, this minter is then the way the minter is chosen is then up for question concerning each different currency. The initial each minter, when each node or minter when wanting to partake in the system, will need to donate or register some Ethereum or ETH will need to register some ETH into the system in order to even partake. However, this system quickly dissolved into the richest can always overtake the system and become the minter of the system. So for specific currencies, there are certain methods to avoid this situation. The first one is randomized blockchain selection. This basically means that regardless of the amount of money put in, but it's also selected based on the hash value of each of the nodes. This basically sorts that not only the highest amount is in, but it's also a bit of randomized. However, most advanced cryptocurrencies also use a coin age selection, and this basically looks at to what extent the money has been in the race, so to say. So let's say we are the block all the way on the right, and we put in, let's say 60 Ethereum, and the rest put in 40, 30, and 20. We've put in the most, so there's a higher, so we have numbers of coins staked in the race are quite high, and the numbers of days staked. So let's say we are not picked, then the numbers of days that we are not have been staked is 2, let's say. So now the chance that we are going to be chosen is even higher. We are then chosen, and then the numbers of days are staked is 0, numbers of coins staked is also 0, and then we are out of the race, and then the other lower amounts with higher numbers of days staked can still in the race and can then overtake larger numbers that are can overtake smaller amounts. So let's say once I've been staked and this 10 euros has been, or 10 Ethereum has been in the race for a week, let's say, and we just come in with 60 ETH, and it's all above the gas price, then even though it's only 10 Ethereum, the 10 Ethereum will be chosen due to the days that's already been in there. So what are the benefits and what are the negatives of all of these systems? When looking at minting through process of stake, there are some changes compared to proof of work. For instance, it's more electricity friendly, as in you would not require massive computers in order to even partake in this system. Furthermore, it's also considered to be more secure, since people are now not only incentivized to partake, but they would be punished if they would only be punished if they once selected put through false transactions. Part of the put in stake will be halved, I think, and they would be unable to partake in the minting process in the future. And for last, it's also possible for minters to multiple at a time work and not be in a constant race with one another. Some final things that we should be adding is in proof of work. There are often situations in which two people might have similar working computers, and in that case, when nodes are similarly when miners are similarly done with mining a block, then often the Satoshi's cheat is selected to solve that issue. And Satoshi's cheat basically entails that whichever miner is already done with the most blocks, not just the block present, but also blocks in the future, so which one has already got the longest tail, so to say, that one will be selected to represent the rest of the chain. Some important information when it comes to proof of stake. As mentioned, miners in proof of work, once a job is done, will be rewarded with a small amount of produced Bitcoin, 6.25. The proof of stake does not work by generating new currencies, but however it charges people making transactions within the block for a small transaction fee. This transaction fee will then be given to the minter once it's done. When looking at the two systems, both of these consensus protocols have great benefits, great delays. For instance, proof of stake can work much faster to overcome the Byzantine general problem. However, proof of work purposefully makes it slow so that the system is correct and can make sure that all of the blocks are put in place only once it's validated. Both of these systems got their point, both of these systems got their own way of dealing with it, and both of these systems are needed dependent on the blockchain that you want. Thank you for watching.